I think every single one of us can think of at least one sports franchise that really needs to pick up and move on from the city that they're in.
Right now, our commitment is obviously Jaguars playing in London and really developing our fan base and winning some games.
10 Big Four North American Sports League franchises seem destined to eventually relocate. It's time for us to play matchmaker as we pick the best relocation options for these 10 sports teams. Jacksonville Jaguars, London. The idea of an NFL team moving to London has been mentioned for quite some time now. Could it actually become a reality? Probably not anytime soon, but it does feel like something that will happen eventually. The NFL plays multiple games in London each year as a part of the International Series. From 2007 to 2012, the league played just one game in London each and every year. But the 2020 season aside, the NFL has played at least 2 games there every year since 2013. There's clearly a huge market for American football in London, and it just so happens that the Jacksonville Jaguars owner, Shad Khan, owns the Fulham FC soccer team. Khan loves getting his Jaguars to play overseas, and his Fulham FC business expenditures in London obviously make matters easier. In 2022, Commissioner Roger Goodell stated that London could support 2 NFL franchises, and that he thinks a 4-team European division could actually work. But back to the Jaguars. The team is near the very bottom in attendance every year. Their long losing history is a key reason why. Jacksonville itself is a tiny market, and the Miami Dolphins and Tampa Bay Buccaneers are simply way bigger deals in the Sunshine State. You can't relocate a big market franchise to London, but the fact that the Jaguars struggle to fill up their own building compared to most other teams gives Goodell and Khan every reason to support a relocation of the Jaguars from Jacksonville to London. Tampa Bay Rays, Montreal. It's truly a shame. The Rays have been a model of consistency since their unexpected run to the 2008 World Series, but owner Stuart Sternberg hasn't been able to secure a long-term home. Revenue is always an issue, and attendance is ridiculously low despite the team's constant winning on the field. In early 2022, Sternberg revealed that Major League Baseball scrapped a proposal that would have seen the Rays play half their games over in Montreal. The Canadian city is still a big potential market for the league, having lost its Expos to Washington in 2005. The Rays have had more than enough time to land a long-term lease for a stadium, but it just hasn't happened. And you simply can't keep a team in a region that has little to no interest whatsoever. Eventually, MLB needs to accept that the Rays just aren't meant to be in Tampa long-term. The league would enjoy massive surges to the revenue and following by relocating to another market, and Montreal is just the place. Imagine if the Toronto Blue Jays and Montreal's baseball team resided in the AL East together. That would make baseball a lot more exciting in the Great White North. Montreal has an ideal venue in Olympic Stadium, the Expos' former home, and the league wouldn't even have to do any divisional realignment, as the Rays are already in the AL East. This just makes too much sense not to happen. The Sacramento Kings, Seattle. It's quite astonishing that the Kings have remained in Sacramento for this long. The team constantly ranks in the bottom third in NBA attendance numbers. The state of California has a ridiculous amount of Big Four professional sports teams, including 3 prominent NBA franchises in the Golden State Warriors, Los Angeles Lakers, and Los Angeles Clippers. There is absolutely no need for a 4th team given the lack of interest there. You may actually recall that there was a plan in place for the Kings to relocate to Seattle in 2013. Hedge fund manager Chris Hansen was set to purchase the Kings from the Maloof family, hatching a plan to bring basketball back to the Emerald City. However, the NBA Board of Governors voted against the move, keeping the Kings in Sacramento. It was truly unfortunate that Seattle had to lose its Supersonics to Oklahoma City, where they ended up becoming the Thunder. This is a mega sports market that quickly got behind the Seattle Kraken, the NHL's 32nd franchise. Without a doubt, the sports-crazy Seattle market would happily support a basketball team again. The Kings aren't staying here in Sacramento forever. Seattle is the perfect place for relocation, and the NBA wouldn't have to perform any divisional realignment here either. The franchise can stay right here in the Western Conference's Pacific Division. Arizona Coyotes, Houston. Gary Bettman's obsession with keeping the Coyotes in Arizona for more than a quarter century is impossible to understand. Why keep a perennial losing hockey team with practically zero following in a non-hockey market? The Coyotes just keep losing millions and millions of dollars, and the long-term arena situation was such a problem that they decided to move into the 5,000-seat Mullet Arena beginning in 2022-2023. I need you to think about that for a second. Houston has been long mentioned as a potential relocation option for the NHL. The Coyotes have to relocate eventually, and Houston probably makes the most sense. This is yet another massive sports market that already loves its Astros, Texans, and Rockets. All they're lacking is an NHL team. And, oh, you could keep them in the Central Division, thus kicking off a rivalry with the Interstate Dallas Stars. New Orleans Pelicans, Las Vegas. In June 2021, John Hollinger of The Athletic had an interesting tidbit to share. Citing sources, Hollinger reported that the Pelicans are seen as the most likely team to seek relocation in the coming decade. Despite the arrival of Zion Williamson, the long-struggling Pelicans consistently rank near the very bottom in league attendance. The city just isn't fully behind its Pelicans. They are far more invested in football, namely the New Orleans Saints and LSU Tigers. If the Pelicans end up relocating, Las Vegas looks like the best option. Sin City has already landed the NHL's Golden Knights expansion franchise, and the NFL's Raiders have enjoyed a successful relocation since moving there from Oakland. May as well bring an NBA team to the booming sports landscape in Vegas. And again, if realignment is a concern for the league, you could just keep Vegas in the Southwest Division or switch them out with one of the teams in the Northwest Division, like the Oklahoma City Thunder. Florida Panthers, Quebec City. The state of Florida isn't a traditional hockey market, but the rise of the dynastic Tampa Bay Lightning has certainly helped make the sport a bigger deal in the Sunshine State. The Bolts are Florida's team. The Panthers, a longtime losing organization that didn't record a single playoff series win from 1997 to 2021, don't have much of a draw. Even when the organization won the President's Trophy in 2021-2022, attendance was near the very bottom of the league. Kinda like the Coyotes, Bettman and the NHL Board of Governors need to accept that it's not working out here in Florida. The Panthers also need to move to a more hockey-passionate market that will generate better TV ratings, as well as attendance figures, ticket sales, and so on. Quebec City would be perfect for so many reasons. The city was home to the NHL's Quebec Nordiques from 1979 to 95, until a weak Canadian dollar and other factors forced the franchise to relocate to Colorado for the 1995-1996 season. There has been a huge push for the NHL to bring a franchise back to Quebec City. Vegas and Seattle got their teams via expansion. So now it's time to move a team back to the capital city of the province of Quebec. Quebec City has the market, the following, the population, and the venue to support a team, thanks to the 18,259-seat Videotron Center. And a Panthers move to Quebec City would mean keeping the franchise in the Atlantic Division to open up rivalries with the Montreal Canadiens, Ottawa Senators, and Toronto Maple Leafs. Miami Marlins, Nashville. Yes, we know, Lone Depot Park, once known as Marlins Park, only opened in 2012. Yes, it was totally unfair how much of the taxpayers' money went towards the construction of the ballpark, but this is a messy organization that just isn't working in Miami whatsoever. At some point, the league will have to cut ties. I mean, even New York Yankees icon Derek Jeter was happy to leave as the team CEO and sell his minority stake. Many have been pushing for Nashville to be the next stop for an MLB franchise, be it expansion or relocation. It's a much bigger baseball market than Miami. That much is for sure. There's just little to no interest in baseball over there in South Beach. The Marlins barely average more than 10,000 fans per home game these days. And you're telling us that Miami is a better long-term location for a baseball team than Music City? Not a chance. It could be a while until the Marlins actually relocate, but they're certainly among the most likely MLB teams to eventually change homes. If that day comes, let us hope that the good folks of Tennessee get the baseball team that they deserve. Charlotte Hornets, Kansas City. A relocation of the Hornets franchise isn't imminent, but the team's never-ending struggles on the court and the failure to fill up the Spectrum Center on a consistent basis has to be tiring for Michael Jordan. North Carolina is far more into football. The fun-loving and passionate Carolina Hurricanes are enjoying a massive surge in popularity as well, but Charlotte's second go at an NBA franchise hasn't exactly gone according to plan. If MJ and the league like the idea of relocating the Hornets, why not to Kansas City? The Sacramento Kings were previously based in Kansas City, and the NHL's New Jersey Devils once played in KC when they were known as the Scouts. Missouri is a great basketball market. They deserve a team in Kansas City. The Kansas Jayhawks are the model college basketball franchise in the neighboring state of Kansas. So KC's NBA team would attract millions of fans from there as well. Kansas City loves its Chiefs and Royals. St. Louis loves its Cardinals and Blues. They loved their Rams before they relocated to Los Angeles. It is just overdue for the NBA to return to Missouri, and the Hornets seem like the right team to make the move there. Oakland Athletics, Las Vegas. The Athletics are going to relocate eventually. It's just a matter of when and not if at this point. The Oakland Coliseum is outdated and needs to be replaced, but owner John Fisher hasn't been able to secure a deal on a new stadium. The clock is ticking on that front, and the A's are the butt of several jokes when it comes to attendance numbers. It's sorta hilarious and sad at the same time. San Jose has been widely mentioned as a potential relocation for the Athletics if they moved. But we're gonna double down on Las Vegas and award Sin City yet another major pro sports team. As we said earlier, this is a huge sports market that would sell out home games without issue. The MLB needs to get involved in the Las Vegas sporting world at some point, and the franchise could just obviously stay in the AL West division. Vegas can't do any worse than Oakland in terms of attendance and generating revenue. So to us, Vegas is a no-brainer for the A's future relocation. Los Angeles Chargers, Austin. The Chargers won't be relocating from Los Angeles in the immediate future, but it's also not too early to think that Dean Spanos may have regrets over ditching the loyal folks of San Diego to make a quick buck in the LA market. Sure, Los Angeles is bigger than San Diego in terms of population and general sports following, but LA is not a very big professional football city. This is Lakers and Dodgers town. Heck, the Super Bowl 56 champion Los Angeles Rams have a much greater inner city following than the Bolts. Yep, even the Rams' home games are often invaded by away team supporters. It could be a decade or two until the Chargers look at potentially exploring relocation again, but it's hard to think that they're gonna work out in LA long term. And you know what? The city of Austin, Texas should be atop the league's list if they do need to move the Chargers down the road. Sure, Texas already has two NFL franchises in the Houston Texans and Dallas Cowboys, but the folks of Austin love their sports as well. And Texas in general is absolutely bonkers for football, and a third team would be a huge success there. No doubt about it. Even if Austin isn't on the table, what about San Antonio? One of these two cities ought to get an NFL team eventually. And right now, the Chargers seem like the most likely franchise to make a move. But which other sports team do you think will relocate? And where do you think they should move? Join us in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.